Hello and welcome to Void Century. My name is Ion, bringing you another One Piece card game video. Today we have an unboxing video for you. I will aptly call this section the Unboxed. I'm going to start it off with unboxing the English versions of the starter decks 1 to 4, mainly the red, green, blue, and purple. It'll show you the differences of the super pre-release box with the Japanese box and of course now the ST English release boxes. Also, I bought a One Piece card game binder and to show you guys what's in store for you when you purchase that, if you've ever thought of purchasing it. So without further ado, let's get into this unboxed video. Okay, so we're going to start opening some of the English starter decks for the One Piece card game. I like the fact that these boxes have the STO numbers right on the bottom right, and we have the manga panels behind the boxes in English, and of course it'll tell you in the back the cards that you're going to be expecting out of the box, which is a good difference from the super pre-release box. It didn't have that, nor did the Japanese box. It would tell you the contents of the card or of the box itself. I like how the Japanese version had a picture of Luffy there and Zoro, the headliners of the starter box. Here you don't really have it, but of course you can see the difference again. I like the difference of the boxes themselves. The Japanese look like the manga volumes, a smaller version, and these ones look like the omnibus versions of the manga. And I do like how they followed that suit of putting of designing the boxes like manga-esque styles. And so we're gonna go straight into opening these boxes. I'm not going to try to waste our time because we have a lot to do. We are going to be opening a booster box in a different video. Today we're just going to look into opening the starter decks for all of these for OP01. And we're just going to go straight into it. It's been a long time coming. I've been looking forward to opening these starter boxes since I ordered them back in May. It's been about 8 months and I'm very excited. It lifts up. Oh, that is cool. I like that. It lifts up and then you remove it from there. Okay, let's check the box out. So you have your instruction manual and how to play, and there is, of course, when you flip it over, it'll be the playmat of the game itself, which is pretty cool to be expected. And then you have your Dawn cards without spoiling anything. So without further ado, let's get into unpacking the deck. Ooh. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Dawn cards, and we have our leader Luffy, and oh man, that is awesome. I hope the light's not glaring too much, but I gotta say, I really have been very excited with the English release. So ecstatic. I love the quality of the cards, the feel, the thickness, the red back leaders, and of course here we have Luffy. Activate main once per turn. Give this leader or one of your characters one rested Dawn card. We'll put you up there. Then we have 2 copies of the STO-1012 Luffy Rush card. Dawn ×2. When attacking, your opponents cannot activate block during this battle. 2 of the Dawn ×1 Zoro. This character gains 1000. 4 copies of Usopp. Dawn ×2. When attacking, your opponents cannot activate a blocker that has 5000 or more power during this battle. 4 copies of Karoo. Oh man, I love how I can just go through this and I'm reading it off of the cards themselves rather than reading it off of a screen trying to translate. And then we have Sanji, Dawn ×2. This character gains Rush. And then we have 4 copies of Jinbei, Dawn ×1. When attacking, your leader or one of your characters other than this card gains 1000 power during this turn. Then 4 copies of Chopper, our blocker. 1 drop 1000. And then 4 copies of Nami. Activate once per turn. Give 1 rested non-card to your leader or one of your characters. She pumps your cards for a good 1000 power extra. And we have 4 copies of the 3 drop vanilla Robin. And then we have 4 copies of the 2 drop vanilla Vivi. And then we have 4 copies of the Frankie card vanilla. 2 copies of the 2 drop Brooks. Biggest thing about this card is I love that he has counter 2000. And his on plays give 2 rested on cards to your leader or one of your characters. A really awesome support card, I believe. Like I would want to have 4 copies of him in the early stages of the meta. We have 2 copies of the 1 drop guard point. Your counter, your leader, or one of your characters gains 3000 power, and trigger, your leader or one of your characters gains 1000 power during this turn. And then we got 2 copies of the Gum Gum Jet Pistol. Gum Gum on a Jet Pistol. KO one of your opponent's characters with 6000 power or less. I like that. 2 copies of Jumble Jumble. I don't know how to say that properly, but correct me if I'm wrong. And main, select one of your Straw Hat type leaders or character cards. Your opponents cannot activate blocker if that leader or character attacks during this turn. And then we have 2 copies of the 2 drop stage card, 1000 Sunny. Activate main, you may rest this stage. 1 Straw Hat crew type leader or character card on your field gains 1000 power. So I did do a starter deck reveal of the first 4 starter decks of their Japanese versions. If you're interested in checking that out and you can compare both of them, I do want to disclose that the lighting on the previous video was very bad, but I'm gonna try to do this one better. So this is your red starter deck, a very well, they're trying to push it to be an aggro deck, which I can see from the rush ability of the deck and Luffy's pump ability, also as Nami's pump ability. One thing to consider that Karu and Vivi are not Straw Hat crew types, so the stage card would not be able to support them or pump them. Either way, I like Sanji's Rush, Zoro's pump for 7000, and of course Luffy's Rush. Again, it's always safe to acquire 2 of each starter deck just in case you want to collect them. I, for one, am going to be collecting all of these cards. These are going to go straight into the binder that we're going to be opening in a little bit. Before I put them all in there, we will be going straight into the starter deck number 2. So without further ado, let's open Kid's deck up. Oops. Okay. So once again, this is Kid's box. You'll see a list in the back of what to expect in the deck. Can't get enough of the manga-esque style. I really like it. I dig it. That's why I'm trying to be careful with these boxes, because I want to put them in the shelf where together with my other manga collection, just because they look sick. I don't want to damage it. No. There you go. Same deal. Let's open this up. So we're gonna breeze through it because, you know, the initial opening was more so the longer one because we needed to see how the deck looked. Come on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there's your leader. 10 Dawn cards over there. Eustace Captain Kidd. 5 life, 5000 power. Activate main once per turn. Rest 3 Dawn cards. You may trash 1 card from your hand and set this leader as active. This was the king of meta for a good while when the Japanese release happened. All those tournaments that were happening in the eastern side of the world, virtually unstoppable, aside from, you know, Luffy, the Luffy deck trying to survive its initial second attack. This guy was the strongest leader out of the box when the game first started. And rightfully so, he is awesome. And then we have, oh man, that feels really nice. We have 2 copies of the 5-drop Trafalgar Law. I like the shine on that. And on play, set one of your Supernovas or Heart Pirates type rested characters with a cost of 5 or less to active or as active. Counter 1000. Power 6000. Heavy hitter. Heavy hitter. Ooh. 2 copies of the 7-drop 7000. Eustace Kid. Blocker. Dawn ×1. End of your turn. Set this card to active. That's a scary card. So that's your super rare for this deck. We got 4 copies of Vito, the 3-drop vanilla, 2 copies of Uroj or Urog. I don't know how you say his name until today, so please correct me. This is your 2-drop 3000, counter 1000, Dawn ×1. If you have 3 or more characters, this card gains 2k power. I love it because if you have 3 or more characters, actually includes him. So you just need 2 other cards on the field, and having this 4 copies of this guy, Beige, 1-drop blocker like Chopper from the red deck, it would be very easy to actually pull that off. And then you got 2 copies of Killer, the 3-drop counter 1000, 3000 power. On play, KO one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 3 or less. Trigger, play this card. An awesome removal for early, close to mid game, and I actually rank this card fairly high, and I think that's why there's only 2 copies of him in the starter deck. And we have 4 copies of the 4-drop vanilla Kobe, 6000 power. And then we have 4 copies of the Searcher Bonnie, 1-drop, very good card. We got 4 copies of Apu, the 2-drop Dawn ×1 when attacking, rest one of your opponent's cards. And we have Basil Hawkins, I don't know how you want to say that. He's the 5-drop 6000 power, Dawn ×1. Once per turn, your turn. If this character battles your opponent's character, set this card as active. One of the strong cards in this green deck. Again, that's why he has 2 copies of it. We have 4 copies of the 2-drop vanilla Heat of the Kid Pirates, and we got 4 copies of Beppo of the 1-drop vanilla, 4 copies of the 4-drop counter 1000 X Drake, power 5000. Dawn ×1 your turn. If this character is rested, your supernovas or navy type leaders and characters gain 1000 power. So we have 2 copies of Scalpel, 1-drop counter. Your leader or one of your characters gains 2000 power during this battle. Then set one of your Dawn cards as active. Then 4 copies of the 2-drop Repel. Counter, your leader or one of your characters gains 4000 power during this battle. Then set one of your Dawn cards to active. And then lastly, we got 2 copies of Straw Sword, the 2-drop main. Rest one of your opponent's characters. So again, there's a theme to the green deck. Some ways it packs a lot of punch, but it disrupts more of your opponent's, decision making and movements in terms of resting and putting cards to active. So if you're interested in doing that, pick up a green deck. And this is Eustace Captain Kid's starter green deck. Okay, moving on. Let's go to my biased color. Ba-ba-ba-bum-bum, bum-bum-bum-boom. So we're gonna go to the blue deck. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, sorry about the sound effects. Okay, my blue deck. Careful, careful, careful. Pivot, flip up, straight forward. Let's swing over to the deck. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 Dawns, and there's your leader. Here's Mr. Crocodile. Oh, I love the blue. I love the blue. So activate main once per turn. Dawn -4, meaning you have to put it back into your Dawn deck. Return 1 character with a cost of 5 or less to the owner's hand. A very disruptive deck off the bat. You can tell what type of gameplay this is. Blue is known for control, and here, no different. Blue will be known for bouncing cards back to hand or back to deck. We're gonna start off with Crocodile again, of 2 copies of his 5-drop blocker, and Dawn ×1 on block. Place 1 character with the cost of 2 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. Love it. I love how they're starting off with all the SRs first. And you have your 2 7-drop Don Quixote do Flamingo. One of my favorite protagonists for sure. I did really like Dressrosa. And here we have him on play. Return one character with a cost of 7 or less to the owner's hand. Disruption again. I love it. We have 4 copies of the 3-drop Edward Weevil, self-proclaimed son of the great Whitebeard, rest his soul. And we have 2 copies of Gecko Moria, the 4-drop on play, add 1/7 Warlords of the Sea. I am actually used to saying Shishibukai, so we'll just go with that. We have add 1 Shishibukai or 3 or Thriller Bark Pirates type character with a cost of 4 or less other than him from your trash to your hand. One of my favorite cards here is Dracule Mihawk, 4-drop, counter 2000. You'll see that once counter 2000s are involved, it's a good card to have in a deck for defensive reasons. And he has Dawn ×1 when attacking, draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards from your hand. I like having him in a deck just because of his counter 2000, and on top of that, he's a good 4-drop 5000 body. And if you want to use his ability, you know, just to cycle through your hand, then awesome. Then we have Jimbei, vanilla, 2-drop. We have 2 copies of Sent Tomorrow. Dawn ×1, activate main, once per turn. Rest 2 Dawn cards, play 1 Pacifista with a cost of 4 or less from your deck. Then shuffle your deck. I really like his card, and I really like how he digs through the deck to look for a Pacifista just to fill up your field. And we got 4 copies of Law. He's like Chopper and Beach. He's the 1-drop blocker for this deck. We have Bartholomew Kuma. I don't know why I said it like that. We have Bartholomew Kuma, 2-drop on play. Look at the 3 cards from the top of your deck and then return them to the top or bottom of the deck in any order. Trigger, play this card. There was a weird ruling in my LGS. People started scrying the top 3 cards, and then they would split up the cards going top, bottom, or you know what I mean, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom of the deck. It doesn't work like that. The rulings were clear in the Japanese FAQs. Look at the X amount of cards from the top and then return them either just as a stack on the top or bottom. That's it. You're not supposed to split them. I hope this kind of helps other people out, and try to clarify it in your LGS, because it does make or break the game. And at that point, the game won't be fun anymore, right? Okay, moving forward. We have 4 copies of Buggy, 1-drop vanilla. I know it feels kind of disrespectful, but he will get a card worthy of his ability. And then we have 4 copies of the Pacifista that Sent Tomorrow is to grab from the deck, and he's vanilla. We have 4 copies of Boa Hancock. Yee. 3-drop, 1000 power, counter 1000, blocker, and trigger, play this card. It looks expensive for a 1000 power, but you have to remember she has a counter, she has a blocker, and if she's coming off of the life area, she's an automatic blocker as well. So I think in some way the cost is warranted because of all the flavors the card has. We have the 4-drop 4000 Marshall D. Teach. Hate the guy, but I love his card. He has on play, return 1 character with a cost of 3 or less to the owner's hand, and then counter 1000. I like it. Early game, you know, you want to disrupt, you want to mess around, you want to try to take control of the field, drop him, return some of the early drops your opponent has. And now we're going to move on to the event cards. We have 4 copies of Sables. Main, return 1 character with the cost of 7 or less to the owner's hand. Like it. Expensive, but he has a trigger to activate it. Next one up, we have 4 copies of Thrustpad Cannon. Counter, return 1 character with a cost of 3 or less to the owner's hand. And then 2 copies of the Love Love Mellow, or Love Love Beam. Sorry about that, technical difficulties. I don't know what happened, but my video cut off. Counter, your leader or one of your characters gains 4000 power during this battle. Then draw 1 card if you have 3 or less cards in your hand. I really love the manga art on this one. So that's it. That's your blue deck. And I will run this, full disclosure. I really like blue. So yeah, we're going to move forward and we're going to open up Kaido's purple deck. Come on. Come on. Oh no. Wow. Unlike the other 3 decks, this one's strip is vertical rather than horizontal. Not a big deal. We have your 10 Dawn cards. Boom! And we got this massive looking beast, Kaido. Love his card. Activate main once per turn, Dawn -7. Trash one of your opponent's life cards. It's that simple. It's like straight to the trash. You don't even get to see the trigger or activate it. And I love him. I like using him. I've tried him on TTS and I like it. And we have 2 copies of the 9-drop 10,000. I have to say it that way. It's just so heavy. It's a heavy hitter. On play, Dawn -5. KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less, and this card gains Rush. Beast. Then we have 2 copies of King. On play, Dawn -1. KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. They're just heavy. These cards are heavy. You have 4 copies of your 4-drop ulti. On play, Dawn -1. Play 1 page 1 card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. And she has counter 2000, and the fact that you have 4 copies of it in the starter box, that's awesome to get it all out of one box. And then we have 2 copies of Queen, the 5-drop 6000 counter 1000 blocker. Dawn on play, Dawn -1. Draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from your hand. A good card that cycles your hand, if anything, if you're stuck in a rut. And I really like how he's also at 6,000, so he caps off some of the early meta leaders, and you know they need to utilize a counter or 2. And then we have the 3-drop 4000 counter 1000 Sasaki. On play, Dawn -1, draw 1 card. 4 copies of the 2-drop vanilla Sheep's Head. Ooh, one of my favorite cards. We got 2 copies of the 3-drop Jack. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, add 1 card from your Dawn deck, and set it as active. So you'll see that the mechanic for purple is more of a Dawn ramp. So if you feel like Kaido's -7 is too expensive, there's a reason for it. Purple's known to be a Dawn ramping deck. So yeah, 4 copies of the 1-drop vanilla Jinrami. And 2 copies of my favorite card in this deck, the 3-drop Who's Who. On play, Dawn -1, KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost 3 or less. Early game, he's just a good card. 4 copies of the 2-drop blocker Black Maria, and 4 copies of the page 1 that ulti would eventually bring down on play with her. He's vanilla. 4 copies of X Drake. This is by far one of my favorite art cards in this deck, because it's a colored manga clip from the manga. So that's why I really like it. Even though he's just a vanilla, I really like it. He's a 3-drop 5000. And then we're going towards our event cards. We have 2 copies of the 4-drop Lead Performer Disaster. Or I don't know why I quoted that. But main, draw 1 card, then add 1 card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. And then trigger, activate this card's main. I really like this card. 2 copies of the 6-drop Brachio Bomber. On main, KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost 6 or less, then add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. And 4 copies of Blast Breath, your ultimate deterrent to damage. It's a 1-drop counter, Dawn -1. Your leader or one of your characters gains 4000 power during this battle. And of course, finally, the ultimate card in this deck. I love the fact there's 4 copies of it. The 3-drop Onigashima Island. Activate main, you may rest the stage card. If your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates type, add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. Again, being a ramp deck, this is a must-needed card in this deck. If you're thinking of doing a DLB, you may not want to remove Onigashima early game. So there you have it. These are your 4 starter decks. I will move to opening this beast up in a bit. I don't know if you can see, it's pretty big, and it's your binder, and it comes with, if you see that, there's a pack in there, a booster pack. I'm gonna clear this up right now, and we're gonna open the binder. So here you have the manga type card binder for the One Piece card game that they're selling. There's three types. You have the manga type, you have the original art, and you have the anime art, I believe. So let's just start off. A very straightforward open. We're gonna open it. Look at what's inside. Okay. You see, quality wise, it's a very normal, like, cardboard type box. I like the art. I bought this for aesthetic reasons because I like anything that has the manga style art on it, and it would look nice on the bookshelf when you're pulling it. So I'm looking into getting more of these in the future. You open it, black matte finish, plastic 4-ring binder. You have 9 sleeves, about 15 pages, carrying about 135 singles, and you got your free booster pack. So we're gonna go straight into opening that booster pack, and I like this for what it is, the manga art design. And let's open the single awesome booster pack. Let's do it. Okay. Yeah, so from the back, from the looks of it, it's still promoting the film red. So this is basically your done card. Then we have a leader. We have a leader in this pack. Let's go. Okay, done. Ooh, sheep's horn, 2-drop, main, Dawn -1. Rest one of your opponent's characters with a cost 6 or less. I like it. Oh, Caribou, 3-drop. On KO, KO one of your opponent's characters with a 4,000 power or less, counter 1,000. Ooh, Alvida, counter 2,000. I wanted her. 2-drop. Dawn ×1. When attacking, you may trash 1 card from your hand. Return one of your opponent's characters with a 3 cost or less to owner's hand. And we have Cavendish. On play, 4-drop. You may add 1 card from your life area to your hand, and this character gains Rush. I like it. Ooh, Officer Agents, 2-drop. Counter, play 1 Baroque Works type card with cost 3 or less from your hand. Awesome card, I like that. A 4-drop Vanilla, Apu. I like his art, and I love this art too. Kawamatsu, 2-drop. He's not a vanilla because he has a trigger. Oh, Inuarashi, Dogstorm. Dawn ×2. When attacking, set one of your Dawn cards as active. Ooh. Who's who? 2-drop. Dawn ×1. Your turn. If you have 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, this character gains 1,000 power. Very good. And we got Demon Face, main. KO 2 of your opponent's rest characters with a cost 5 or less since 6-drop. So it's pretty strong. Ooh. We have your foil, Don Quixote do Flamingo. Pretty awesome card. He's the blocker on play. Look at top 5 cards of your deck. Place them at the top or bottom of deck in any order. Okay. Let's see this. Oh, it's Law. Of course it's Law. You saw the hat. I love it. Oh, this is what I wanted too. So we have a red, green activate once per turn. Rest 2 Dawn cards. If you have 5 characters, return one of your characters to your hand, then play 1 character with cost of 5 or less. That is a different color, so I really like it. Needless to say, I'm very happy with this one pack that I got for free. That's basically included in the purchase of the One Piece card game binder, and I'm very happy that I got a leader out of it. I've heard great stuff about the pull rates of the booster box. I have a box on the side. I will be opening one up for you guys soon. Just watch out for it. And again, thank you so much for watching this very long video. I hope you have a great day and stay safe out there. Until the next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.